I was in my early 50s and I was feeling really unfulfilled and unhappy. And I had a 30 plus year career, and I knew I loved mentoring. And someone said, "Have you read Coactive Coaching?" And I said, "No, I never heard of it." So I ordered the book on Amazon. It came and I read it and I was hooked. I went to my first workshop and I was so nervous. I thought, I'm too old. People are going to laugh at me. Maybe I'm not smart enough. Will this work? And I walked into that classroom and I knew it was the right decision. I had found my people and I was all in. I wish I had done it 20 years ago. It was the most incredible thing I've ever experienced. A gift I gave myself. I bet on myself. I left. It was like shedding an old identity. I had a 32-year career in academia, everything from being a teacher and reading specialist to teaching at the college level. And so I had that teacher, academic, I said I shed my cloak of academia, and I was terrified. Well, when I started coach training, I thought I was getting trained so I could be a better mentor, coach, because I was working with university students. But what I really got was I got to know myself better. And it was this incredible gift that I gave myself. And I understood more the gifts that I had to give the world, because we all have gifts, and your gifts are not for you to keep. Your gifts are for you to give to the world. And I felt for the first time in my life ever, and I was in my early 50s, I felt like I was finally seen. I was able to really understand what it was about me that made me special and what I could offer other people. It's an invitation to be more introspective and to see, what makes you tick and why, what are the things that you're afraid of. You have to go into those things and look at those things, because you can't ask your clients to do those things, to go into those places, unless you've gone into those places too. And I think, as Joseph Campbell says, the cave you fear to enter actually holds the treasure that you seek. And I found so many treasures in those caves. Made me a better person. It made me a more introspective person, but yet I became a happier person, a more fulfilled person, a kinder person, a generous person. And I realized that I was a natural coach, because it wasn't about me. I mean, even though I knew myself really well, I learned to know about myself. I also became a better human, not just professionally as a coach, but I became a better friend, a better mother, a better spouse. It just, because there was all this richness that all the tools that I learned through coach training taught me, and I use them every single day. It's a practice. And I just feel like CTI was the most incredible gift I gave myself, and I trusted. And I feel so proud to be a CPCC. And I love telling people, oh, if they ask, oh, well, I'm a coactive coach. And people just, when you say that, people go, oh, yeah, because they know that training is the exemplary training. It is the best training, and it gives you it fortifies you with the tools and the foundation that you can use over and over and over again, and it transfers to all parts of your life. I think that as a coach, the most exciting thing to witness, and I'm going to say witness, because as a coach, you create the container for the client to explore, and to see people discover their own magnificence is the most incredible reward. And to be able to ask really powerful questions, to put, to sort of, pull people into the places that maybe it's hard to see. And you'll go say, well, what's the truth that you see here? And then they're actually able to admit, oh, wow, I guess I didn't realize that is a superpower for me. I'm really good at that. And to see people actually admit to themselves how magnificent they are. That is the biggest gift, to be able to guide people in that way, because it's about the client. The wisdom always comes from the client. But if you can create a container, and a safe container, to help people to see and own their own magnificence, that's incredible transformation. I am proof that it's never too late, and you are not too old to really live your dream. And I went through coach training, which was extraordinary, in my early 50s. I'm now in my early 60s. And during COVID, I was a coach with no clients. That's not really good, is it? A coach with no clients. And I thought, okay, in a quiet moment, the wise woman that lives just under my skin said, now's the time to write that book you've been wanting to write. And so I sat down, and I again, bet on myself, I hired an editor to help me. And I wrote a book. It's called Name, Claim, and Reframe: Your Path to Well-Lived Life. And I took all the coaching tools I'd learned in CTI, and I created a curriculum, because I'm a teacher at heart. Name your emotional triggers. Why am I reacting instead of responding? Claim actions that line up with your core beliefs. And we know what our core beliefs are. We really can have clarity and see where we want to go. And then reframing your mindset. This sounds like CTI, doesn't it? When you reframe your mindset, you shift your perspective and you see a different way through. And that's what we do as coaches. And so this name, claim, and reframe structure really helped me to write a curriculum that made coaching tools accessible to everybody. Because I loved how I was able to see clearly how to live a happier, more fulfilled life. I realized that I was taking with me all that wisdom and all those incredible skills I had as a teacher. And when I wrote my book and I became a coach, I realized, oh, you've got a lot of skills that other people don't have. And that's why this book was such a hit, is because I know how to write curriculum and I know how to make content accessible to other people. And wrote the book. It was very successful. We even got on an American TV show right out of the gate. And I just am releasing the Name, Claim, and Reframe workbook this spring. If somebody can pick this book up and it helps them see something in themselves, I'm delighted. Like, I've had people come up to me and say, God, I went through a really hard time and your book changed my life. I mean, I saw stuff I didn't understand before. And that's what coaches do, right? So I'm just excited, and I'm excited to make these tools available to everybody. But it all starts with CTI. I would not be here if it wasn't for CTI. They helped me find myself and my own magnificence. I think the power of coaching comes from really knowing, for the coach first, that the answers lie within the client. And it's the coach's job to create the container to ask powerful questions that help to lead that client, to their own solutions. I mean, it's really about creating that safe container to explore. And that's really, to me, the essence of coaching. I think everybody has a book in them, but I was so inspired by what I learned about myself when I went through coaching, that I thought everybody needs to have access to these tools, because all of us struggle. All of us struggle with understanding our values. All of us struggle with the inner critic. All of us need to learn how to separate our own ego and see another way through. I mean, there's learning in everything. And I think that coaching tools need to be accessible to everybody, because not everybody can hire a coach. And I think that these tools that make people more compassionate, I think it makes people kinder and more generous. I think it makes people more self-aware, so that they know that what you say to somebody, they may not remember. Maya Angelou's, what she said is, people may not remember the words you said, but they'll remember how what you said made them feel. And if you can say something to somebody that makes them feel good and see themselves, my goodness, wouldn't our world be a kinder and gentler and more generous place? And I think that if I can instill that in others through my words, or my colleagues can do that, our world can have more harmony, and harmony would heal a lot of hurt. If you're at all interested in coaching, trust that instinct, because I guarantee you're going to come out of the training a different person that you went in, and you're going to be a more elevated, more introspective, more conscious person, that is more in touch with your own gifts, than when you went in. So it's a gift that you give yourself, truly. Oh, I think coaching is something that transcends all parts of our lives. I think that being a coach makes us better humans. I think it's about being conscious about where we are at any given moment. I mean, we may react to something, but we have the tools to say, "Oh, I'm reacting. I can choose again to respond." And I find that I am a kinder, more generous person. I take people for who they are, and I think, okay, well, how can I be kind to this person? Or how can I listen to this person? Or maybe this person really needs me to listen right now. I mean, I think that the listening skills that I learned in coaching are the most incredible skills I have. It's just receiving people right where they are. Everybody wants to be received. And so I think, for us as coaches, it's our gift to the world is that we get to receive people. We know how to ask really powerful questions, and people like to be received and heard and seen. And that's, oh my goodness, the world needs more of that, doesn't it? It in order to transform, you have to be brave to go into the places that you're afraid to go. But if you put fear away and you claim curiosity, you can't lose, because you're going to harvest something magnificent. And that's, to me, what CTI was for me. I am so proud to be a CPCC. Thank you, CTI.